we go. Aloha, Turkish Films here with Turkish Films Chess, Daily Chess Analysis, Episode 11. Now this is actually a super short game, also not terribly interesting. You can see the curve here. I was just kind of destroying. At the end here, I would have had a 99.9% game or a 100% game had it not been for my final move, which is upsetting to me, but it's okay. The game went well anyway. Here we go. Let's get into it. So it's a normal King's Indian. I'm going to fast forward this because I'm assuming you guys have already seen this kind of structure before. And here I used to play the 4 pawns attack, but it's not good. So I play knight f3 now and bishop e2. This is the normal way to play. And he broke with c5 instead of the normal e5. c5 is fine. I close the center, which makes a lot of sense. And he brought his knight in. I'm more used to people playing e6 and trying to break open my pawns because then his pawns become stronger. Okay, castles is fine. And he played e5, which is decidedly a bad move because after my move, which I properly saw, which is taking the pawn, then the d6 pawn is weak. And you have to think these kinds of things whenever they make the e5 or the c5 push. They're weakening the d6 pawn by 1 point. And the d6 pawn, is obviously very sensitive in the Sicilian. But it can also be it can also be vulnerable in positions like the Benko. The Benoni, but also maybe the Benko as well. So you got to watch out for this d6 pawn if you're black. And this move gives away the pawn. Now there's no c pawn, there's no e pawn, so we take that. He defended this pawn because it was being attacked with check. Makes a lot of sense. And here in the game, I was thinking I want to put more pressure on this knight, and I made the proper decision to play bishop f4, which not only attacks the knight, but also lets my other rook in the game, which is nice. I saw that here we should not take that. That would be not a good move. This bishop is really good. This knight is not only pinned, but we've also provoked a weakness. The g6 pawn is weak. Also, the h6 pawn's only defended once. So I properly went back and made another threat. Notice that both my bishop moves came with threats, and in the process, all I did was weaken black's camp. b6 is not a good move. The computer would have me just have him give away the pawn, but I'm not supposed to take it. And I explained why b6 was a bad move. I noticed that this natural developing plan wasn't good. And I like my plan better than queen g3. Mine's kind of a trap. He can't develop this bishop comfortably. He tried to, and e5 came. And now, a blunder. I should have played queen here, which not only comes with a threat, but also defends this square one more time. And, yeah, it's just a better move. Instead I played queen back to d2 instead of d3. I saw that if I keep my queen on the file, this is still a problem for him. But I should have been more accurate here. But I blundered. And he resigned because it's still bad for him. I'm still +3. The reason why this is a blunder, if I recall, is because after bishop captures f3, bishop captures f3, he can play knight captures e5. And in this position, I can't win this, but I can win this over here. So I win the exchange in this position, which is fine. And I have control over the central file. You know, his pawns are maybe less than thrilled at the moment. But yeah, if I play queen to d3, then if he tries the same thing with bishop captures here, we can play queen captures g6 check. And after he deals with check, we can take here, Bishop g7 is the move. And okay, it does say bishop here. And after knight here, we still get this. Oh, wait a second. He gave up the queen? Knight captures e5 gives up the queen. I guess he has to. What if he saves the queen? If he saves the queen, then ef6. Okay, we win the knight anyway. So you can see this is bad for him. We're just up a lot of material here. But queen g2 is the only thing. I wouldn't say there's much to learn from this game other than theory and understanding the value of the pieces. That was the main thing that benefited me. That this d6 pawn can become subject to weakness. And after playing c5, I noticed that the pawn is only defended once. And then after e5, recognize that it's defended 0 times. So we can take this pawn for free. And now I'm already winning by 2. I have a great position. And I think I would win this position most of the time. Like already. My moves just come so naturally. This is the idea of provoking a weakness, which is good. I never really exploited that weakness, but that's the benefit of Queen D3. Queen D3 exploits the weakness that I created before. And this is the problem you guys maybe have noticed that I've been having, is I'll set up certain situations where I weaken a piece, or weaken a square, or start a pawn, move my majority. But then partway through, I'll just decide, instead of pursuing that plan, to just do a totally different thing. And so kind of having consistency in your plan is going to be really helpful for chess. And so here, Queen D3 talks about the square that I had weakened previously, or Queen D2 doesn't do anything such thing. And that's why it's such a bad move here. But that's really it. We're going to look at the details here. It's E91. Accuracy was quite high. Everything is 99%, except for my rook move was not very good, and my queen move was only 50% accurate because I made the wrong move in the end. His move, knight b to d7, broke theory. He's supposed to play e6 there, and neither one of us spent very much time during the game. So not a lot to look at there. Maybe we'll look at our opponent's mistakes. Obviously, queen d2 was my mistake. In this position, instead of playing e5, a better move, I think, I'm thinking it's either e6 or rook e6. I think he missed the opportunity for e6, so I probably think it's rook e6. Preparing moves like this, or preparing moves like this. Yeah, in this position he played b6. It's just, I think, the wrong plan, because you can't get this bishop out. And like we already said, you should try drop this pawn. I think computer says king h7. Getting the king safe and defending potential weak points in your camp, and trying to hold on to this pawn, which you weakened previously by playing h6. Okay, in this position, bishop b7, like we said, falls victim to e5. As for a solution, maybe he should try to trade queens, because my queen is such a dominant piece here. So this is my first inclination, is queen e7. But is there a better move? Okay, what about bishop f8? Well, if bishop f8, my queen goes back, attacking this pawn, maybe? I think that's just less direct, and your queen's defending this knight right now, so I'd say this move. Okay. That's the move. So all of his ideas are aimed at slowing down what I'm doing. So e5 is just a tactic that he missed. b6 is trying to defend a pawn, but you should really just slow down my attack. My attack is going to come at weak points in your camp. And that's a huge weak point, so defend it. Instead of bishop b7 trying to maximize your position, just try to stifle my threats. These kinds of things. Alright guys, and this has been a super short episode, but that has been Turkish Films Daily Chess Analysis episode 11. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you stay Turkish. Goodbye.